Hello and thank you for clicking on my video today. If you're new, my name is Christina and I'm a working mum with two kids aged 1 and 3. I'm at the stage of life where time to clean and tidy is minimal, so I just grab whatever time I can to try and get my shit together. In today's video I'm doing a general day-to-day tidy and clean. I had a couple of hours across 2 days, so you'll notice a wardrobe change halfway through. Usually if it's just me and my son Alfie in the house, I use that time when he's napping just to catch up on everything as much as I possibly can. I always like to start in the kitchen because it's just the one place that is continuously messy. To be honest, it actually does annoy me how often the kitchen needs cleaning. I just feel like it just never ends, and no matter how much you tidy and clean, it's always a mess again within a couple of hours, but it's just the way of life, isn't it? I actually did a bit more of a deeper clean in the kitchen during this session. If it's just a day-to-day clean, I just wipe down the main sides where there's space, but today I took everything off and cleaned underneath because it was slightly overdue. I gave the toaster trays a good scrub and also the tiles. I do feel like they don't really show much dirt or grease because of the colour of them, but I know it's there, so it's always good to give it a good clean down now and then. I also just want to mention that I am only using one cleaning product in this video, and it's an eco-friendly multi-purpose spray that I made myself at home. I've been using it for a few weeks now, and actually I'm really impressed and pleased with how well it's been working. As I said, it's multi-purpose, so you can use it anywhere. It works really well on mirrors and windows, in the kitchen, bathrooms, literally anywhere. It's multi-purpose. I've nearly got through my first batch, so I'll be making up some more very soon. I think the only thing I will change is the essence I put in it, because I used orange and it was it's a nice smell, but I think I need to use like a lemon or something like that. But it's nice to know that it's totally non-toxic and free of any harmful chemicals, and it's also really cheap and means I don't have to have a million different types of cleaning products in the cupboard. So I do have a video on how to make it, which I'll link down below, so make sure to check that out if you are interested. So staying on the route of eco-friendly cleaning, the cloths I'm using today are all reusable. I don't use any kitchen towel or disposable cleaning wipes or anything like that, because first of all I just think it's a total waste of money because you're literally just throwing it away, and secondly obviously not very good for the environment just using disposable things like that. So these are washable, so you just clean with them. I usually use like one per thing and then put it in the washing machine, and then you can just use it again next time. So I have mentioned these before, but I like talking about them. They are something that my sister actually makes and sells, because she makes children's clothes, but she also makes these and sells them in her shop. They are made from really nice different patterns on one side, and then the other side is like a nice bamboo cloth material, so they're nice and soft, and they actually work really well. I use them everywhere, mainly in the kitchen, but I use them to clean all sorts of places. So again, linked down below if anybody is interested. It's nice to be getting to the time of year again where we can start putting our washing outside in the UK. So my garden has got a fair amount of sun in the mornings, but usually it is gone by the afternoon, especially at this time of year. So I like to try and put a wash on first thing in the morning during the spring if it's sunny, and then I can at least put it outside in the sun for a few hours. So I think I did actually leave it a bit later on this day, but as you can see, my garden isn't the best for the sun, but we get a little bit, so it's nice to just be able to get it outside for at least a couple of hours and dry it a bit more. I do have a dehumidifier that I use inside the house, which is fairly cheap to run, but it's still nice not to have to if we don't need to. And this is another eco cleaning thing I want to try as well. So it's from the Nancy Birtwistle book, and she makes her own fabric softener, which I'm quite interested to try just to see how it actually makes the clothes smell. So if you're interested and you aren't subscribed, please subscribe and stay tuned for that video. So back to the kitchen now, and I obviously just wiped down the sides and the tiles behind and put everything back, and then made a good point of wiping down all the little appliances as well. These particularly show finger marks, and I'm constantly having to wipe them down because they are quite obvious when they are covered, but this spray does actually work very well for getting rid of them, so I'm quite pleased with that. I think I've mentioned this in another cleaning video, but usually if it's just a general day-to-day clean, I don't do anything fancy with the sink. I just spray it and wipe it down as best as I can, because it just gets messy far too often to give it special attention. But on this occasion I did also use my Sonic scrubber brush in the plug holes just to give it a bit more of a shine, because it does get quite stained, especially with tea, so I find that it's quite a good tool to get rid of any little grimy marks that I can't wipe out with a cloth. This is something I am very interested to find out. So we only got our air fryer within the last few months, and we clean the trays every single time we cook with it. You know, not deep clean, but we'll wash them up as you would any other pots. And I know some people don't do that, and they treat it more like an oven and clean it sort of every few months or so. So please let me know how you do things with your air fryer, because I don't know if I'm the weird one for cleaning them every time, or if you're classed as weird if you don't. So please let me know, if you have an air fryer, how often you clean it and what you do to clean it. Do you put it in the dishwasher? I don't, because I think, I don't know, it just seems strange to put it in the dishwasher, so we just wash by hand. But please, if you have an air fryer, let me know how you clean it. So to finish off the kitchen, I just swept the floors, got all the bits up, which I do 3 times a day probably, and then mop the floors, and also swept the hallway as well. I used to just hoover all these little bits up, and it really started to clog up my hoover, so since I've had my sweeping brush, it's made the hoover so much better, which I'm really glad about. I never thought I would be so happy to have a sweeping brush, if I'm honest. So next up is the living room, and it's actually quite tidy in here compared to how it normally is. We don't have a playroom, so all the kids' toys are in the lounge, and it does get quite chaotic in here if we have a few hours at home. I think we had been out on this particular day, so it wasn't actually too bad. But one thing I definitely needed to do in here was to dust down all the surfaces and clean photo frames and things like that, so it was nice to get that ticked off the list because it hadn't been done for a while. And all I use for dusting is just a Minky duster cloth, which you can just use dry, don't need any sprays or anything like that. And then I used my Eco spray just to clean down the sides, and another Minky cloth to wipe them down with. So as I said, the cleaner works really well on glass, and my children are at the stage where they are constantly putting their fingers and their faces all over these patio doors, so it's nice to know that I can clean it off without leaving any chemicals behind that they are then going to put in their mouth. So onto upstairs now, and the first thing I always like to do is to put the washing away, just because I feel like it's in the way otherwise. So I usually just sort it into piles and then take it to where it belongs and sort it out from there. I always try and put the washing away the same day that it dries, which 9 times out of 10 I do actually manage to stick to it, but sometimes it does slip over to the next day. But I just feel like if I don't do that, it always ends up building up, and then it's such a big job. So I like to try and just get it done as quickly as I can. So this is my daughter's room, and it does often get quite messy in here because the kids spend a lot of time in here playing with toys. Obviously the ball pit, the balls go everywhere, but I have started recently making sure that we all take time to tidy up together before the kids go to bed, so we all run around upstairs and get all the toys and put them back where they belong, which actually has been working quite well recently. So I think I will keep trying to do that because it actually really helps just to keep upstairs in quite a good order, and also helps encourage the kids that they need to learn to tidy up after themselves. So I think it's quite a good thing to have started. If you've watched my cleaning, tidying videos before, you'll know that I have been wanting to get some curtains in my bedroom for a long time. I've lived in this house now for 5 years, and I only just managed to actually get some, so I'm not actually sure if I really enjoy the colour of them, but I always find it really hard to pair colours with grey other than pink or yellow, but I don't think they look too bad, and they definitely make the room seem more cosy. So I think I just need to get some bedding of a similar colour, and then I think I will probably like them a little bit more. So this is now day 2 of cleaning, so everything before this was all I managed to get done on the first day, and this is the second day. So as you can see, once again, still using the Minky duster and then just my Eco spray. And one thing I will also say about this spray is it's really nice just to be able to have one thing to carry around the house rather than loads of different cleaners and things like that. It just makes the whole cleaning, tidying process so much quicker and easier than having to constantly dig out a different cleaner for whatever job it is. So that's another bonus about using just one spray. I am on a bit of a decluttering journey at the minute to try and minimise just how much stuff is in my house, because I find it really overwhelming. I know I don't have an awful amount of actual clutter, but as you can see from my wardrobe, things are definitely jammed in, and I didn't actually declutter and organise my wardrobe all that long ago, so it's definitely a job that is overdue. So I think I'm going to do another decluttering wardrobe video soon, so if you're interested in that sort of thing and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I haven't actually done any decluttering videos for a while, but I do tend to do them fairly regularly, usually on this channel. I always find them quite motivating to watch myself, so it's always nice to just record those kind of videos and know that I am getting rid of things and people are enjoying it and being motivated by it at the same time. I like to use these dust scrapers quite regularly on the edges of the carpet because I don't really feel like the Hoover can get in the gaps very well, but they do such a good job and it's quite satisfying to be able to get all the dust out. I quite enjoy doing it on the stairs because I think that's quite a hard place to actually Hoover properly, but these tend to do a really good job, and actually the last time I did it I managed to get so much up and I could not believe how well the carpets looked afterwards. So if you've not got one of these, I definitely recommend getting one. This is my ensuite bathroom, and as I didn't have an awful lot of time on this day to do a full deep clean of the bathroom, I just wiped down the windowsill and the sink. I had not long done the toilet, so I don't know if this is a weird way to do things, but I've got 3 toilets in this house, and instead of just focusing on one bathroom at a time, quite often I'll just clean all of the toilets in one session and then all of the sinks in another session, and when I've got more time to actually give them a deep clean, I'll focus on one bathroom at a time. But I feel like that's just an easy way for me to keep on top of them. I don't know why. Does anybody else do that, or is it just me being totally strange? Also, let's all just appreciate the shine on these taps from Just My Eco Spray. Does anybody else have a banister area like mine and absolutely detest wiping it all down? It takes such a long time to actually dust it properly because there's so many little nooks and crannies, so I do tend to just use this minky cloth, and then I have to try and hoover the dust out from behind the banister bit on the stairs here with the hoover because I just can't get in there properly otherwise. These stairs do also need glossing, which is not a job I am looking forward to at all. So I guess like most people, I always like to end a cleaning session with just a whip round with the Hoover. It's always a bit hit and miss as to whether Alfie will sleep through me hoovering, so I try and do it towards the end of his nap, so if he does wake up it's not the end of the world. And I even moved out the sofa for the occasion, which actually this one looks like it wasn't done all that long ago, because usually I find lots of Cheerios and toys under here, but not too much on this occasion. I do tend to hoover downstairs every day because we spend an awful lot more time down there, but upstairs probably only gets done once a week in this house, which, you know, people may very much frown upon that, but like I said, I don't have an awful lot of time, so once a week is probably pretty good for me to hoover upstairs, so I am okay with that at the moment. And as expected, because I was hoovering upstairs, that woke Alfie up, which was fine because it was time for him to get up anyway. But before I get him out of bed, I always like to just leave him in his cot so I can have a quick whip round in his bedroom without him getting up to too much mischief. So I hoovered and just tidied up the room. I didn't need to dust in here because I actually did it not long before I filmed the video, so it didn't really need doing. But that is where I will end today's video. So if you enjoyed and you like this kind of content, please subscribe for more, and I will hope to see you in the next video.